Yeah, hello! What's good, everybody? It's your boy Rumpus here, rating the top 5 best One Piece games. Now, this may be slightly subjective. I did not go off of official other ratings. This is kind of my own personal experience and what I think are the best games overall. So if you completely disagree, that is okay. That is fine. I'm not here to argue. So whatever's best for you is cool. That's fine. Great with me. Now, we all know anime games in general don't have that great of a reputation, nor are they generally that good. In my opinion, they usually end up being kind of cash grabs because anime fans really don't have much else to go for. There are some golden apples out there, but for the most part, a lot of anime games are cash grab, and One Piece is not kind of out of that bag either. So they're fully capable of having those two. Now I'm going to go over the top 5. Let's start with number 5. The first one's going to be kind of the Pirate Warriors series. Dynasty Warriors based. I love the Dynasty Warriors games. I love the One Piece games. Now, Pirate Warriors, I feel like was one of the earlier games to start allowing you to play a lot more characters in a lot more open field and ways, like mainly for 3D. So Pirate Warriors has a lot going for you. It's a button mash game. You run around, destroy a lot of enemies. You can capture bases and whatnot. You can play the different characters. Now, one thing that I loved the most about this was that it had transforming Lucci. I don't know if this was the first game to do it, but it really felt like the first game to do it right. Rob Lucci can transform into his leopard form, and he can stay there as well, at will, for however long he wants. This is all I've ever wanted from Zoans, and this game gave it to me. So honestly, that's like a big plus right there, which actually makes it go big, like way out for me. But the only problem and downside to this is that it does get a little bit tedious and you kind of get bored of the game, and honestly it kind of died after the first week, I'm not going to lie. So at least for Pirate Warriors 4, which is the newest one to come out. But anyways, they do keep dropping DLC, they keep dropping new characters, and it's actually a decently enjoyable game if you can get it for kind of a cheaper price. I definitely think it's worth like a solid $20. Alright, number 4, you guys, is going to be One Piece Bounty Rush. Now, for those of you that know my channel, I do play a lot of Bounty Rush. It is kind of I'm mostly known for. It is a mobile gacha game. It is probably one of the greatest games One Piece related because they allow you to play so many characters that have never been played before. Like, how many games have you been able to play Hina? How many games have you been able to play Miss Golden Week? Like, all in the same game. Mr. 3, like all these side characters, I absolutely love that feature. It is competitive. It is a 4v4. The only major downside to it overall is that it is heavily reliant and basically a pay-to-win game. You could say it revolves skill. There are some skill-based aspects, but most of it revolves around whaling and how strong your team is versus the enemy team. So there are percentages and stats that get included into this, and you can pay money to speed along the process, aka allowing you to kind of win easier because you are stronger and have more stats than others. So the faster you can level up, the better, and you'll be stronger than most of the people who are free to play and leveling up way slower. But overall, really solid game. I do enjoy it. There's different maps. You have Water 7, Alabasta, all kinds of different things going for you, as well as like all the different characters. You have the 7 warlords, you have several of the Yonko, you have different versions of them as well, which allows you to kind of play them in different modes and tiers as well. So we recently got the most the Gear 5, as you can see, and he is been running amok the meta in that game. So really solid game. I would recommend One Piece Bounty Rush. All right, next up is going to be One Piece Fighting Path. Now this is also a mobile game. This is newer, and it is going on currently. It is a beautiful game. It allows you to play several different characters with crazy amounts of skills. You actually have 3 skills per character. And then you have a sub special, and then you have like a full special, which comes with a complete animation that kind of does everything for you. So it has kind of everything going for it. It does have transformations, as I was talking about earlier. There's a story mode to it. There is ranked competitive if you're into fighter games. It has that aspect as well. And if you're into just the PvE reliving the story, there's that for you however you want. Now there are rewards for dailies in order to play PvP, so if you do got to play those, you can just play that one and done and get that over with. But other than that, you can just play whoever you want. The characters roster isn't that huge yet, but they are slowly growing. They don't release characters that quickly, but I do give them props because the characters that they do release come with like a lot of love put into them, it feels like. So really nice game. Overall, would recommend. I think this is honestly the best game. The one thing that drags it down is that it isn't China only, so it is not released in global. No one else can really play it. It is kind of a big downer and kind of makes me sad because I've been waiting for it to go global for so long. It's actually been out for about like 2 years-ish, roughly, and it still hasn't gotten global. We're not really sure if it's going to go global, so it's to be determined on that. All right, next is going to be One Piece Grand Adventure. Now, this gets right into my childhood nostalgia. This came with a bunch of other series, so there was characters like Foxy in the Japanese version that was not playable in the English version. I was actually so sad about that. I know who likes Foxy. Apparently, I'm the only one who does. But other than that, it was a story-based game. It allows you to go through the East Blue into the Grand Line. You fight Crocodile. There's all these different missions. It's one of those where you're slowed for 30% throughout the entire match. You got to complete the mission. You level up your characters. So kind of, I really like these type of games where whatever character you choose to main is kind of your character that's going to be strongest. It kind of shows that you put love and effort into them. You can rank them up to, I believe, 100, and you can kind of stat them however you choose. You can choose to prioritize ultimates. You can choose to prioritize defense or offense. Like whatever you want, you can build them however, and I absolutely love that aspect. It was so cool, and it was amazing for its time. It is a much older game, as you can tell. This was, I believe, on the GameCube and the PlayStation 2 and all of that, so it was quite some time ago, but one of the best games. You could summon out your partner, so if you were Mr. 1 was not playable, but say you were Mr. 2, he was definitely playable. You could summon out Mr. 4 and Miss Groundhog's Day, and they would have different like treatments for side characters. So if you ever played Naruto Shippuden or Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm, it basically support characters like that. So you have defender ones, you have offense-oriented ones. It varies. So being able to pick that up, and on top of that, you had different costumes for your characters as well. So you could kind of change outfits, which was really cool, mainly only for the straw hats, but I believe each character had different color change, and it was phenomenally made and so great, and I put so many hours into that game. Perfect game for its time. I absolutely love it. One Piece Grand Adventure was amazing. All right, my number 1 is going to have to be, now this may be hard bias. If you want to rank the mobile games higher, you can. The only reason I rated those lower is because they kind of are more cash grabby and less kind of care going into the games. But this one, One Piece Unlimited Adventure, this one has a series of games. The Japanese ones got way more characters that were playable, so unfortunately I missed out. I only had the US only ones. This was the first one that I think the physics on the Cape. It was a story mode. It had its own personal story, personal custom story. You would go through, you would find these little crystal plant things, you would open them up, and then you would get a previous like story villain that comes out. So you would pop open the story, the plant, and Crocodile would pop out, and then you fight him, and he'd be boss. And it was kind of Souls-esque, but obviously not nearly as complicated. It was so cool. You have Crocodile, and then you could go in a 1v1 situation. You could have your own little custom match with your friends, and you could battle it out, and you can play whoever you want. They kind of had pointed characters. Obviously, the higher level points, it was like 1 through 5. Like if you have Shanks was a 5, he kind of have more effort and details into him and could do more. Whereas if you have like a 3-point someone, they usually don't have as many skills that are unique, but it was still really cool, and you could actually come out and like evenly fight because it wasn't like completely based off like the point system. That didn't necessarily mean they were stronger, so it was kind of skill based. I really enjoyed it. You have bug capturing, you have fishing. It had all that extra stuff going for it. So if you really like the story modes that wasn't directly the One Piece history, you could play that. It was phenomenal. The physics on the case was the one thing I wanted to emphasize. So you could have Crocodile, he'd have his flowy jacket, and it would just move around correctly with it, or Mihawk's jacket. I absolutely loved it, and it fits so well. So maybe this is nostalgia. If this game was continuously updated and like a mobile game in that way, obviously it would be cash grabby, but like, you could tell there's a lot of love put into these One Piece Unlimited Adventure games, and I truly loved it. So I've sunk so many hours into this as well, and got to my favorite characters. I remember Aokichi was such a big one to unlock and play. So anyways, that is my ranked list of my top 5 games of One Piece that we've ever had. There are a lot more older GBA ones that were probably really good, but in general, I think these are kind of the best ones because they have a lot of characters. I do prioritize the amount of characters that you can play. One Piece Odyssey, stuff like that wasn't really like hitting for me as much, and all those like kind of single like only play as Luffy games didn't really hit for me as well. So I know there was One Piece Game Boy GBA or whatever that I believe was really good, so kind of special shout out to that one. So I wanted to give that one some credit as well. Now let me know what you guys think. What are your guys' favorite games? What was the best ones? What were the worst ones in your opinions? Kind of leave a comment down below. I'm kind of curious to see which ones you guys rank, or give me y'all's top 5 and which one you guys think is the best. But anyways, that's all I have for you guys. I would truly appreciate if you could check out my Twitch, Twitter, and Discord. The links are all in the description below, and I'm so excited to discuss with y'all. So let me know which is your favorite One Piece games. So I'll catch y'all later. Hope you have a wonderful night, morning, evening, whatever time it is for you. I'm your boy Rumpus. I'm gonna be taking off. Yeah, holy peace, beautiful people.